Hello, and welcome to The Wave from Ocean Reef, a podcast about the flow of life today and how you and I might ride with or swim against it. I'm Dan Meyer, Chaplain-in-Residence at the beautiful Ocean Reef community in Key Largo, Florida. For many years, I led one of the largest churches in America, hosted an Emmy Award-winning television news magazine, and moderated a forum for business and professional leaders. Along the way, I had the chance to work on a farm, in a maximum security prison, on an offshore oil rig, and in the world corporate headquarters of IBM. These experiences, plus a political science education at Yale and degrees in theology from Princeton and Fuller seminaries, have made me fascinated with people and with the various predicaments and possibilities that shape the flow of human life. I hope you'll find this podcast sparks your own thinking about that. So here's the wave for today. Alex Haley, the best-selling author of Roots, kept in his office throughout his career a bizarre photograph. It pictured a turtle sitting atop a fence post along a country road. When asked what the photo was about, Haley responded, "I keep it as a reminder to myself." Why, he was asked. Well, he said, if you see a turtle sitting on a fence post, you can be pretty certain of this. He had help getting there. That's true of all of us, isn't it? No matter what heights we've attained in life, we've all had some help along the way. Sometimes we forget that. We can slip into thinking a bit like Bart Simpson when asked to offer a prayer before dinner. He says, "Dear God, we earned the money to buy this food, so thank you for nothing." You and I may not quite descend to that level of smug ingratitude, but it's easy nonetheless to get focused on all that we have done, or that we are doing, or that we still need to do to elevate our station in life. We can lose sight of all the unmerited favor, all the unearned help that has undergirded our lives and will still need to. The people who began our nation's life could have developed an illusion of self-sufficiency like that as well. The Pilgrims, after all, were a proud and hard-working people. They had beaten immense odds in even getting to this land. For the better part of a year, they managed to scrape out an existence and build a new home for themselves. But then came the unthinkably brutal winter of 1620. Had it not been for the grace of faith that held up their courage, or the gracious provision from the local natives, it is very unlikely the Pilgrims would have ever risen above their conditions and lived to build the nation that you and I now enjoy. More impressive still, I think, is that they understood this. When the crops that the Native Americans had taught them to plant finally came to harvest in the autumn of 1621, the Pilgrims didn't pat themselves on the back. The Pilgrims declared a feast of thanksgiving. They gathered with loved ones and neighbors. They gave thanks for the hands, both heavenly and human, that had carried them beyond that terrible winter. More than 2 centuries later, the 16th President of the United States cautioned the American people against losing sight of that first Thanksgiving. In a time of national calamity, he declared, "We have forgotten the gracious hand which has preserved us in peace and multiplied and enriched and strengthened us. And we have vainly imagined in the deceitfulness of our hearts that all these blessings were produced by some superior wisdom and virtue of our own." It was that same president, Abraham Lincoln, who first introduced in 1863 the national holiday we now call Thanksgiving. More than 160 years later, one wonders if Lincoln's call is not needed once more. Amidst America's present winter of conflict and discontent, how might life get better if we could all live with a deeper measure of humility and gratitude? So think about it. Whose hands helped lift you up to where you sit today? Many years ago, an aspiring actress was handed a bit part in a Baltimore theater production. Hoping to secure the nicest clothes to show off her talent, the girl rushed to the theater an hour early on costuming day. To her disappointment, she found that everyone else in the cast had arrived even earlier. They'd secured all but a single tattered outfit with a skirt too short and a blouse too tight around the collar. As the young actress mourned her misfortune, the young woman was startled by one of the other actresses, adorned in the most beautiful dress of all. "Here," the other woman said, "you take my costume. I arrived very early today and I got the best one." But I can't take yours," the girl stammered. "Sure you can," the other actress said. "I'm getting married soon, and I don't think this part is going to mean that much to me in the end. But not you. I saw your audition, and I'd like to help you get where I think you're going." Now, crying once more, but with tears of humble gratitude, the young actress, a girl by the name of Katharine Hepburn, simply said, "Thank you." Has there been anyone like this in your life? Has anyone anywhere sacrificed anything in order to elevate you? Have you been touched by someone who lifted your hopes when you were downcast? Has there been anyone whose vision or example raised your eyes beyond the common horizon? Can you think of someone who gave you a hand up when your strength just wasn't sufficient? Or who told you that you were meant for high places when you weren't much more than a turtle scrambling through mud? It's good, I think, to keep that fence post photo in our view too. In fact, let's not let November conclude without speaking that word, without making that call, writing that note, or lending that hand that says thank you to someone, maybe even to the greatest someone. All of us had some help getting here. We can go even higher if we stop and stoop more often to help one another. That's today's Wave from Ocean Reef. If you know of others who might appreciate this sort of content, I hope you'll pass it along or encourage them to find me on Apple Podcasts. Until next time, I'm Dan Meyer, hoping that the flow of life is good for you.